discuss on general structure. We will have classification of amino acids and some physiochemical properties. Okay? At first, guys, I want to tell you in biochemistry about my sessions. I'm not speaking about my colleagues, about my sessions. The structures, chemical structures that you see, they are just for better understanding, not memorizing. Okay? No worry about the chemical structures or chemical formula. If there was needed to memorize, I will tell you. For final exam, not for your I forget the name of that. Yeah, basic science exam. I forget even in Farsi, you know? Yeah, for Uruguayan, I'm not speaking about that. Just about your final exam that is related to me, okay? And first, guys, as our friend mentioned, amino acids are building block of proteins.
And if we read from the PDFs, is it enough for the exams?
Yeah. Maybe I try to say something and more extra information, but they are just for your information, not for your final exam, okay? Guys, amino acids are building blocks of proteins. Guys, where are they from? About the order of amino acids. They are from where? I'm speaking about from DNA. Am I right? No. After that we have RNA, especially mRNA, and after that protein. Do you know these process names? Yes. Transcription and translation. You know that the order of amino acids depends on the genetic codes that are here. Am I right? If there were even single substitution, one nucleotide, you will have maybe mutation. That in some cases they cause inborn error of metabolism. Am I right? IEM. Because of just single nucleotide mutation. So, the amino acids and proteins are so important in our body. Another thing that I want to tell you is about the structure of amino acids. They consist of an amine group, a carboxyl group, and there are different side chains or residues. I want to show you one by one. No worry about it. Guys, do you know about the number of amino acids that we have? How many amino acids we have? 20 in our body. What about the nature? How many? Different numbers. 300. Yeah, because we have different types of amino acids. In our body, just we have L-alpha amino acids. There are different amino acids in the nature, for example, in bacteria, for example, in plants, and every place that you take. But in our body, we have 20 amino acids. 20 amino acids with this structure that I want to tell you.
Not yet. We haven't had it.
Iranian, yeah? You read it, yeah? Okay. Guys, about the number of amino acids, as I mentioned, in the nature we have almost 300 amino acids. But in our body structure, just we have 20. And about the role of amino acids. Some of them can be hormones. Do you know about which hormone made from amino acids? Lots of them, but about just single amino acids. Do you know?
Slowly.
The surgeon comes from cholesterol. Yeah, thyroid. Guys, thyroid hormones comes from tyrosine amino acids. Two tyrosine produce T3 and T4 or tyrosine. Okay, and we have amino acids in pigments. I will say you today, and we have some neurotransmitters. Do you know what is neurotransmitter? Yes. What is in the reduction of glucose? Yeah. Neural interactions caused by neurotransmitters. Guys, every point that you can't get, my meaning, ask me, please. Don't hesitate yourself, okay? Ask me. It is no matter for don't get the point because this is not my native language. This is not your native language. All of there isn't English, native English here, isn't there? Okay. No worry about missing some points. Just ask. Okay. And about the metabolism, because of some enzymes. Enzymes are proteins. Just we have some enzymes that are based on RNA structure. I will discuss tomorrow, inshallah. But lots of enzymes are protein based. And the most important amino acids in those proteins are serine and threonine. I will tell you about it. And about genetic disorders, I'll explain you about inborn error of metabolism. Guys, about structure, do you know about the structure of amino acids? How are they? Yeah, symmetric carbon. Yeah, exactly. How do you know these things? At school. Okay, that's great. Do you know? You were from which country?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. In some classes, maybe, I don't know, they couldn't get my point, or maybe they didn't study at school. These things in Iran, the students study these things, but different countries are different. Guys, no worry, you are from different region. If you weren't get the point, just ask, okay?
And they are not all the same. So, for example, we are from Kurdistan, and some other countries in the high school, we don't study about it.
Okay, you don't know about
Yes,
it.
no.
Yeah, just ask. I will try to say something that all of you can get the point, yeah? Don't worry about that. Guys, as your friend mentioned, in amino acid structure, we have an asymmetric carbon or chiral carbon. What is that? Yeah, a carbon that's attached to 4 different groups, we call that chiral carbon or asymmetric carbon. Because all of amino acids have this asymmetric carbon except glycine. Because the glycine have another H here, one H here, and another H here. I will show you, no worry. These are just for your better understanding. Because here we have a carboxyl group that you can see, can they be ionized in our pH, body pH, and we have another amine group or amino group. And these are different R groups that we call them residues or side chain. As I've explained Exactly, great. The essential amino acids or everything. For example, we say that these fatty acids is essential. Are essential. What does it mean? It means that our body cannot produce those things. And this is essential that we receive from supplementation or from diet. They are essential. And what about non-essential? Yeah, our body can produce those kind of things. Guys, about being essential and non-essential of amino acids, just mentioned here. But it doesn't need to memorize that because in the metabolism, inshallah, next semester, you will study about all of these things. And actually, by default, you will memorize them because of the metabolism process. Just now, I mentioned. Another thing and another type of classification is based on polarity. What is polarity? And it's charge, related to charge, and in some situations, yeah, they can transport electron or maybe have some polar characteristics, not exactly just about the charge. I will show you. And another type of classification, this can be polar, non-polar. About diet, as our friend mentioned, they can be essential, non-essential, and conditionally essential. What does it mean? What is conditionally essential?
At young age, for growth, more proteins are needed, so it's only essential during that period. When a person grows, he or she doesn't need that sort of proteins. So it is needed only at a given time.
It can be. But another thing, guys, these conditionally essential amino acids can produce from essential amino acids. Do you know what I mean? For example, we need, I will show you till the last part of our session, but let me show you. For example, guys, phenylalanine is an essential amino acid. Okay. Yeah, phenylalanine can convert by phenylalanine hydroxylase to tyrosine. In this situation, tyrosine is conditionally essential. What does it mean? It means that when the phenylalanine is available, it can convert to tyrosine. Okay, this is somehow non-essential. It doesn't need to provide from diet. But if the phenylalanine be deficient, we need to receive tyrosine from our diet and outside our body. Did you get the point?
In the presence of certain proteins, we can produce other species.
Yeah, it depends on the presence of the precursor of that amino acid. Okay? This was about essential, non-essential, and conditionally essential. And about side chains, like at first, let me. Guys, we have different biochemistry. Do you know some of them? Some biochemistry books.
Resources.
Harper, Lippincott, Marshall, Bishop, Stryer, Leninger. Guys, you can see, just it is great. You can see different classification types. The base of all of them are the same, but maybe they put, for example, threonine on the amino acid that have hydroxyl group. In another book, maybe put threonine on the categorization of non-polar or polar amino acids. You know, these can be variable in different books. Let me see about different, I try to collect a general classification at first about aliphatic, non-polar, and uncharged amino acids. linear in structure or branched in structure. Okay? Linear, glycine, alanine, and branched like valine, leucine, isoleucine. Okay? We will discuss in each of them one by one. Another thing, they are uncharged and somehow polar. They may have hydroxylic group or sulfur group. Okay? Accompany me. Hydroxylic group like serine, threonine, and sulfur atom, cysteine, and methionine. Guys, these groups are so important, and you will work on them till the rest of your education because of, for example, sulfur atom in cysteine or hydroxyl group in serine. You will face with them in all places. Another thing is about the being basic and acidic. Okay? The basic amino acids, what do you think about the charge of them? The basic amino acids have positive charge or negative charge? Positive. And acidic have negative charge. Acidic amino acids, besides being COOH here and NH2 here, they have in R chain another carboxyl group. In acidic, I will show you. And in basic, we have another amine group in the R chain. Okay? The basic is glycine, arginine, cysteine, and acidic, aspartate, glutamate. And another classification is based on side chain that can be amidic like aspargine, glutamine. And they can have aromatic ring like tyrosine, tryptophan. And about amino acids, it is exception in lots of areas. We can mention protein. Okay? We will discuss in each of them one by one. At first, guys, about glycine. You can see here we don't have a symmetric carbon. Why?
2H groups.
2H. We have carboxyl group, amide group, and 2H. This is the simplest amino acid and the smallest amino acid in our body. They have lots of work in the structure of amino acid protein because they are small. Okay? And you can see here the R chain just is this H group. But about the glycine characteristics, they have essential wall stereoprotein structures like collagen and elastin. They are conditionally essential. I told you about being conditionally essential or not essential. It doesn't need to memorize. No worry about memorizing them. But you should know, for example, here I am telling you this is non-polar, and I am telling you they are inhibitory neurotransmitters. You should memorize this issue because you will study that on physiology in different situations. You will face with this fact. Memorize this. Another thing, guys, they have one in bicep, heme, and glutathione. Have you ever heard about glutathione? What is it? You know? Guys, have you ever heard about oxidative stress in our body? Oxidative stress or oxidative stress. Guys, about oxidative stress in our body. There are different oxidants in our area. Am I right? For example, UV light. For example, pollution. For example, stress situation. They lead to stress and we have some oxidant and we have antioxidant. This is in normal situation, okay? Guys, one of our normal antioxidants is glutathione. That makes from glycine, cysteine, and another amino acids, okay? And when this balance disrupt, our body will face with lots of problems. For example, some autoimmune diseases, cancers, some neurodegenerative situation, and something like this. This balance is so important. One of the most important things in this balance, antioxidant balance, is glutathione. Okay? You will hear a lot about glutathione. I think it is better to know about it. And where we have heme, hemoglobin, and hemoglobin and myoglobin. We have in another structures like cytochrome and the electron transport chain and something like this, but it's not important. And about body salts, we have again the thing that produce in liver and store in gallbladder. This was about glycine. Another amino acid is alanine. You can see that this has just a methyl. And it is again somehow a simple amino acid. It is again non-essential, non-polar, and substrate for alanine transaminase. Have you ever heard about alanine transaminase or ALT? Where?
I think it's responsible for a disorder. I guess autoimmune disease. It causes autoimmune disease.
More common thing you have in Chicago thing. Do you know, have you ever seen in laboratory reports, for example, you have blood sample to the laboratory and they give you a lab report. You can see ALT and AST in lots of cases. Guys, have you ever heard about liver function tests? Yeah? Guys, you will study about ALT and AST completely. I don't want to concentrate and emphasize on that. Just I want to tell you that ALT, alanine transaminase, and AST, aspartate transaminase, are both of liver enzyme. That the test of that plus bilirubin and alkaline phosphatase, they are with each other liver function tests or LFT. Okay? You can see that alanine is the substrate for alanine transaminase. You will study a lot about that, a lot. In different situations, in pathologic situation, in physiologic situation, it was important to know. Another thing is about valine. Guys, you can see that in our chain, we have a branch chain. Do you see this? It has a non-polar structure with big structure that is branched, something like this. And another thing is about leucine, that it is again branched, it has branched structure, and about isoleucine, again it has branched structure. What do I say to you? Guys, have you ever heard about an abnormality under the name maple syrup urine disease? Yeah? Yes urine. Maybe you heard with another term in your language.
Sweetie urine, when the urine
Sweetie or urine, like
Milk.
maple syrup. Guys, did you know, in metabolic disorders, urine, pee.
Okay, it's not when there is diabetes.
No, not the taste of that, the smell of that. In diabetes, the taste of that is sweetie. But in order of metabolism, guys, because the metabolism doesn't occur normally. Okay? Some products produce inappropriately. For example, isoleucine, for example, I'm just having example. Isoleucine should start to degrade and produce something that can excrete normally in the urine. Okay? You imagine that some enzymes are defective here. This isoleucine cannot produce the final product. What is happening? Something here start to produce and start to increase. These are not normal for our body. They start to excrete in the urine. And they have an non-familiar odor in the urine, in the sweat, in all body fluid of that infant. For example, the patients, the infants with maple syrup urine disease, we have these cases in the, especially in children's hospital. Okay, my colleagues say that the body of that infant, the urine of that infant, the urine sample have a special smell, different from other normal urine samples. One of these smells is about maple syrup, a sweetie odor. Okay, they say that they have a good smell like caramel. You know, these are caramel based somehow. Okay, these amino acids, leucine, isoleucine, valine, they are branched chain amino acids that are large, and we can see in large proteins. Guys, some, especially boys that go to bodybuilding for making muscles stronger, maybe consume BCAA. Have you ever heard about that? Yeah? These are branched chain amino acids like valine, leucine, isoleucine. Guys, memorize these three as branched chain amino acids and as the cause of, if the metabolism of these three amino acids disrupted, we have maple syrup urine disease. It can be a good question for your final exam. Okay?
Sorry, that in the PDF.
Pardon?
Sorry, it's not written in the PDF.
Yeah, I told you that here you can see valine, leucine, isoleucine, and here you can see I've written branched, and you can see maple syrup urine disease. Write it down that these are three, again, they are branched chain amino acids and they are related to maple syrup urine diseases. It was about these three branching amino acids. Another important amino acid that I want to tell you is about serine. Which group you can see here? Hydroxyl group. Guys, in enzymes, I will tell you tomorrow, inshallah. In enzymes, we have a lot these serine residue. Because of the hydroxyl group, it is the place that enzymes can be phosphorylated or dephosphorylated. I will explain you completely, but memorize that serine is so by phosphorylation can become active or inactive. For example, guys, let me show you. For example, this is an enzyme structure. Okay, am I right? And this is active cell. For example, we have a serine residue here, and it has OH group. It is the place that a phosphate, I'm not sure about the charge of that. For example, a phosphate with negative charge can come here and attach. After attaching phosphate here, the structure of this enzyme somehow change that make it appropriate for doing a reaction. Okay? When I'm saying that serine and threonine are so important in phosphorylation, I mean that they can attach to a phosphate group and have some conformational changes. Okay? That they cause starting a reaction or stopping a reaction. Some enzymes with phosphorylation become activated, some of them maybe become inactivated. These were about hydroxyl group. Another amino acid is cysteine that have sulfur group. Guys, do you know about the name of this part? Exactly, thiol or thiol. This is thiol, and this is so important in a bond under the name disulfide bond. Have you ever heard about that? Where? School, at school. Disulfide bonds are so important. Another thing about cysteine, you should know this is conditionally essential, polar and uncharged, important in protein structure because of disulfide bond. You can see in this situation everywhere. They are the source of sulfur again in our body. When we need sulfur in some situations, cysteine come and give us sulfur. Again, cysteine plus cysteine gives cysteine. We have a condition under the name cysteine urea. Okay, this is the situation that cysteine attach to each other and excrete in the urine as cysteine. Guys, have you know about what are the differences of these two?
Present in blood, present in urine.
Hmm?
Protein is present in blood. Protein is present in urine.
In blood, when we have anemia, it is in blood, protein increasing. For example, if we have hyperproteinemia, it means increasing of that. And if we have hypoproteinemia, we have decreasing. And about urea in urine. This is again the same in all medical situations. Guys, again, cysteine can be the precursor of bile salts and again, gelatin. It's better to memorize, for example, about gelatin, for example. Another amino acid, again, its sulfur atom is methionine. What about methionine, guys? The most important thing about methionine is this methyl group. Methyl group. Because the sulfur is in bond between two metal and methyl and methyl. Okay? The most important part is CH3. general in different situations. Okay? Did you get the point? Yeah? I hope. About methionine, again, it is non-polar, not polar. This is methyl transporter. If I ask you in your final exam in MCQ that which of these amino acids are methyl transporter, we should know the answer is methionine. And it can be the precursor of cysteine. You can see that I told you cysteine is a conditionally essential amino acid. If methionine is sufficient, the cysteine can produce in normal situation. The precursor of homocysteine is not important. You will study the metabolism and the precursor of creatine and choline. Again, it's not important to memorize. About the next amino acid, it is arginine. Guys, you can see we have a group here that we call it guanidine. Again, it's not important to memorize it, but I want to tell you, these are the group that can be ionized and have charge. We charge positive or negative? Positive. It can accept proton. Okay? It can accept proton because it is base and the charge of that is positive. If I ask you which of these amino acids are basic or have positive charge, the answer is arginine and lysine. And in some cases histidine, but I will tell you. Guys, this is urea structure, okay, that you can see so similar to this one. So arginine can be effective in urea excretion. Again, you will study in metabolism, ignore about them in this session. Just know about the thing that I tell you. Arginine, guys, again, is conditionally essential, precursor of nitric oxide, urea, creatinine, and ornithine and citrulline. Guys, have you ever heard about these items? When? Ornithine in urea cycle, yeah, and citrulline again in urea cycle. And about creatine,
Protein powders.
again in bodybuilding, yeah. In normal situation, creatine is the source of energy for our muscle. But in bodybuilding, the young person, the young people consume creatine for making more energy for the muscle and make it bigger and stronger. Okay? I'm just telling you about bodybuilding this session, yeah? And another important amino acid is lysine, and again, it can, which can have positive again. It is again the basic amino acid. And about lysine, guys, an important situation that occurs for lysine is hydroxylation. You will see, because we have some abnormalities about hydroxylation of these amino acids. After hydroxylation, these amino acids convert to hydroxylysine, and the hydroxylation of that need vitamin C. You will study about cofactor, and I will tell you that if vitamin C is deficient, the lysine cannot be hydroxylated. And you will face with different problems, I will tell you. Because the hydroxylysine is important in collagen, in elastin, and gelatin that we have in tendons, joints, skins, blood arteries, eye structure, and different parts of our body. Another thing that lysine is important is in this histone protein. Where is histone protein and body? DNA. Yeah, exactly. DNA is coiling the histone protein and we name it nucleoprotein. Okay. Another amino acid is can be ionized and have negative charge. And another thing about aspartate, again guys, they are substrate for another liver enzyme. Aspartate transaminase or aspartate aminotransferase, because they are not just related to liver cells. We have in different situations, but in liver cells, when the level of that increase in blood circulation, it means that the liver cells destroy and the enzyme AST and ALT that is predominantly in liver cell released to the blood circulation. But you should see other situation and other history of your patient. Guys, a lot of aspartate, be aware that it is stimulatory neurotransmitter. Glycine was inhibitory, aspartate is stimulatory. And this is precursor of urea, purine, and pyrimidine. You will study about them completely in the future. Glutamate is another acidic amino acid. You can see here another carboxyl group. That guys, glutamate have role in brain cells. How and why? Guys, brain cells are so sensitive, and the metabolism of that is so high. Metabolism, especially of protein and glucose. When the metabolism is high, we have lots of production of something like ammonia, NH3. If the NH3 remain in the blood cell, the brain cells, it is toxic. What does glutamate do? The glutamate or glutamate absorb this ammonia and convert to glutamine. Okay? It is another amino acid that now it's not toxic for brain cells. It can transfer this ammonia to the liver and start urea cycle and decrease it and secrete NH3. Again, glutamate is stimulatory neurotransmitter, important role in detoxification that I've explained to you. Another thing, guys, this is again the substrate for ALT and AST. In ALT and AST we have aspartate, alanine, and glutamate. If I want to write about the reaction, maybe you become confused, but I'm sure that you will study about it. It is better not to write it down. Do you want or not?
Is it important for you?
Up to you.
Is it important for you?
No, it's not important for you.
Well, we have a lot of things to study.
Okay. Okay, I'm sure that you will study about all of them completely in clinical enzymology, in also in protein metabolism. You will study all of them completely. It is better not just I start to bombard you by lots of information. Guys, you know that glutamine have role for transporting of NH3 and is a stimulatory neurotransmitter. Another amino acid, guys, it is asparagine. Asparagine that you can see here, it is like aspartate, but here you can see another amide group. This is another amide group. And
The professor, we should have got the charge.
no, it doesn't have charge because you can see here CO and NH2.
I mean the other one.
Aspartate,
Yeah.
it has negative charge.
We should know about it.
Yeah, about negative charge and positive charge, you know that aspartate they have negative charge, and about arginine, lysine, histidine are basic and have positive charge. Memorize just these. Okay? And about asparagine and glutamine, just the most important thing is about this. It's not important to memorizing these. Just the thing that I want to tell you about asparagine and glutamine is the thing that I've explained about glutamate. Again, aspartate and glutamate absorb ammonia and convert to asparagine and glutamine, and somehow make the NH3 as a non-toxic compound that can go to blood circulation. You can see here about being essential or non-essential.